I guess the first question would be, what took you so long?
Well, you know, it was easy. You know, easy win, easy submission. We've drilled that, you know, thousands of times in the last, you know, few months for the training camp, and you know, everything went according to plan.
Is his wrestling at all? Was that a primary focus? You know, preparing for Ramsey?
Yes, we had a good wrestling coach. You know, his name is Greg Howe. You know, I worked with him for 2.5 months for this camp, and you know, just a lot of you know, defense and a lot of specific stuff that we knew the type of takedowns he was going to do. And honestly, you know, when we locked up, I felt like he wasn't anywhere strong enough to keep me down. If he did get me down, I felt more powerful than him.
You've had such a long layoff with being in the Ultimate Fighter house and everything associated with that. How did it feel just getting out there and getting a fight under your belt after all that time?
It was great. You know, it seemed like forever. You know, I had the surgery on my shoulder, and you know, I had to heal up, and it was a long wait, but it was definitely worth it. And you know, I was excited. You know, it was you know, probably the least nervous I've ever been for a fight. You know, I had the best training camp I've ever had.
So talk us through the fight. How'd you set up the choke, and what do you call that choke?
You know, it's a guillotine that, you know, we've drilled. You know, I've drilled it. You know, my coach, Master Lloyd Irvin, you know, seen I was getting good at it, and he tweaked it up and showed me, you know, details on how to really get good at it. And I've been getting it on people, you know, sparring a lot and, you know, training jiu-jitsu, and we knew we had a great chance to get it from because, you know, we watched his films and studied him a lot, and you know, I knew he left his neck available to sink it in.
Mm-hmm. James, can anybody do that choke, or do you need to have your length to pull it off?
You know, I'm pretty sure. You know, I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert, but I'm pretty sure, you know, most people could do it. But definitely, you know, the benefits of long arms. You know, a body type like mine is going to be able to get it, you know, more times than someone with shorter arms would. I would assume.
Is there a point in that choke where you decide to commit, or do you have a second where you think, I don't want to totally blow my arms out on this attempt if he's not going to tap?
Well, actually, you know, we had that covered as well. You know, my coach, Lloyd Irvin, we did every day after we sparred, we would do burnout rounds where we would get a dummy, and we did that guillotine, that exact guillotine, and we did it on the dummy until my arms were burned out. We would do 10 sets on each arm, you know, so I wasn't worried about fatigue on my arm at all. And then that kind of choke is really, it's not a power choke, it's more of a, you know, a deep penetrating, you know, choke. So I knew that, you know, there's no way my arm, I probably could have held that choke for 2 minutes.
Tell us the idea of doing that drill. What's the point of blowing your arms out in camp?
The point is, you know, if you know, we did that drill after we sparred. So, you know, you do an hour and a half, you know, sparring session, then we would do that drill, and your arms are already fatigued. If you blow your arms out like that in training, they're not going to blow out in the fight. You know, just muscle memory and conditioning for your muscles.
Anybody you'd like to fight next?
I mean, no one in particular. You know, I'm not going to lie, I would love a rematch with Michael Chiesa, but I'm not sure the UFC would give me one, but I would love that. But I'm not just going to call, you know, anybody out. You know, whoever they decide is fine with me, you know.
That one still nags at you?
Do what?
That one still nags at you?
Absolutely. Just, you know, I mean, Chiesa's, you know, I was, you know, we're friends. You know, I was friends with him on the show and everything, but, you know, I lost, you know, he beat me on the show, and I would love to fight him again, I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
Tell us about how you hooked up with Lloyd Irvin.
Master Lloyd Irvin was one of the coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. He was Dominic Cruz's head jiu-jitsu coach, and me and him, you know, immediately built a connection. You know, he had a lot of faith in me, and we, you know, we talked quite a bit, and he offered me to come train, you know, at his gym in Maryland, and I took him up on it. I went last year, but, you know, and I trained for 3 months before I had that surgery, and I loved it. And then, you know, once I got healthy, I told him I was coming back, and he said, "Come on!" And you know, he has a, you know, a house for me to stay in. Everything's great, so you know, I love training there, and that's pretty much, you know, how everything came together for us.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks.